Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name's Harriet Schneider. I'm the marketing director here at Independent Computer Consulting Group. We're an enterprise software consulting firm, and today we're presenting the first of a four-part webinar series focused on how to help you determine if it's time for your enterprise software update. This panel discussion will help you learn the signs. Before we get started, if you look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see three icons. There's a chat, raise your hand, and Q&A. If you do have any questions during the presentation, go ahead and click the Q&A icon. A window will pop up where you can type and send those questions to us, and we'll leave time at the end of the presentation to answer those. Our moderator today is Bala Ananthrama. He's our Senior Vice President, Business Strategy and Enterprise Architecture. And our panel members are Dale Williams and Subir Banerjee, both ICCG Senior Project Directors. And at this point, I'll go ahead and turn things over to you, Bala.
Thank you, Harriet. Good morning, good afternoon. This is very privileged to be part of this panel discussion as a moderator. Thank you all for taking your time off your busy schedules to attend this webinar panel discussion. Honestly, we look upon this more as an exchange of our experience based on insights and a reaffirmation of possibly your own thoughts on the topic of why a business needs to update or upgrade its enterprise software and what could be some of the critical signs. Before we get into this panel discussion, please allow me to give you a brief about our own credentials and as a business and technology solutions consulting firm. And also we will, just one slide, touch upon our technology partner, Infor Global Solutions. And the reason being we at ICCG do very well align our consulting strategies and solution offerings around Infor's world-class, best-in-class enterprise software. So ICCG at a glance, to put it in very simple terms, our motto, it's all about for us people, processes, and productivity. Today, during these very difficult times of COVID-19, you can all the more understand how much we need to worry and care about our people, and not just our people, also our customers, our partner vendors, and of course our principal Infor, all the people in planet Earth to really ensure that everybody stays healthy and safe. And while focusing on people, processes, and productivity, to be a trusted advisor for our clients, and we serve them with honesty and integrity. As I mentioned before, we are a business and technology consulting and solutions house. We have over 3 decades experience helping globally manufacturing and distribution businesses, I'm sorry about that, get their systems of record aligned with their business processes and strategies. A brief from an Infor standpoint, part of the world-leading Coke Industries. It is today, Infor today is a standalone subsidiary of Coke and continues to be headquartered in New York City and of course run by a great management team and serving over 100,000 customers across 170 countries. So let's get into the panel discussion. I welcome Dale and Subir to be part of this discussion as what we are going to share with you today as part 1 of this panel discussion is the impact on the enterprise software, drivers or triggers such as globalization, mergers and acquisitions, and redefining in a digital world have as an impact. So let's get started with globalization. Change is the only permanent thing is not just an age-old motherhood statement, but reality is every business model is evolving and changing at all the time. It could be classified under, you know, globalization. And as we welcome our panel, both Dale and Subir. By the way, happy birthday, Dale. Today is your beautiful birthday, so have a fantastic day, and thank you for joining this panel.
Thanks, Paul.
Let me start with you, Dale. You were involved in a major global deployment of a best-in-class product lifecycle management solution from Infor for a leading consumer food manufacturer. Tell us more about what triggered such an update to a mission-critical solution which impacts the complete business, right from it across the product development life cycle, from ideation to commercial production and beyond. And before, Dale, you get on with your experience, I just want to share with the audience the approach we have taken in this panel discussion. Instead of it being concepts, everybody knows about globalization. Everybody knows about what we are talking about. But what we are going to present to you is some of our own customer experiences, real life experiences, which drove the upgrades and update of their enterprise software strategic initiatives. Over to you, Dale.
Okay, thanks, Paula. Well, this major food manufacturer had operations across the globe and had three very important tenets to their business model. First, they care about the ingredients that go into their food. Secondly, the choices behind the food they make. And third, how they make their food to serve the world. You should also know that 95.8% of US households have this product in their homes. They harvest over 4 billion pounds of tomatoes and carrots every year. Their biggest challenge was being able to manage the need to introduce new products and get them to the market quickly globally. This large global food manufacturer was running separate, very old versions of Infor's PLM, or Product Lifecycle Management product, which were being supported by multiple IT teams across the globe. They needed to upgrade to the latest version of Infor's PLM product and also have everyone globally running off of one instance to really build the required efficiencies in their complete product development and introduction process. By upgrading to the current version of the product and moving the solution to the cloud, they were able to have all their global new product development efforts tracked in one system. By moving to a cloud solution, they were able to take advantage of the new features and functionality which are released monthly, and they can stay current on the solution. They were also able to reduce their IT support costs significantly by moving to the cloud.
Thank you so much, Dale.
Sure.
I just also want to clarify one more aspect for our audience. We are referring here to enterprise software. So for us, it encompasses product lifecycle management, of course, ERP, which is system of record, could even be customer relationship management, could be enterprise asset management, anything which is helping us manage our business more efficiently and productively. That's clearly why this first example that Dale highlighted was we started with a product lifecycle management enterprise software example. Subir, you worked on a very interesting upgrade project for a leading fashion apparel manufacturer from Canada. I believe here the driver for their updating their system of record was to increase the business across the borders into United States. They clearly realized that they could serve a much large addressable market by getting more agile and a more modern enterprise software to support their growth strategies. Please, could you share some of the insights on that strategic initiative?
Sure, Bala. This was in 2016, 2017, when this fashion apparel manufacturer, which specializes in sports jerseys, reached out to us at ICCG. The client wanted us to help them evaluate, select, and implement their ERP system as their trusted advisor. They were running an old version of ERP, which was implemented over 20 years back, and much had changed in their world of business since then. This company was based out of Canada, as you said just now, and the most compelling driver was their increased business now coming from the United States, which really meant they had to be more agile in responding to the demands and also be timely in their execution of customer orders, because these were very seasonal. The time for getting the new updated ERP system to be live was another major need for them to demonstrate their agility in serving the increased clientele. We stepped in, helped them evaluate, select, and implement the update to their operational system, which was in 4M3 in under 8 calendar months.
Sweet. Thanks, Subair. So that was on just giving you a couple of flavors on how globalization can be a driver. Let's move on to the next sign or a major trigger, mergers and acquisitions. In my own consulting professional career of over 40 years, I've dealt with so many manufacturing and distribution retail businesses on a global scale. And I'm also a member of the Association for Corporate Growth, which is the body for many venture capitalists, private equity, and growth investors to be part of. And in that context, this is very close to my heart, mergers and acquisitions. And it's a very interesting time today. So Dale, you had a very interesting experience where two companies, one, a leading fine paper, and two, a leading stationery manufacturing business, were merged into one entity, and both had legacy ERP systems. So there was an initiative to evaluate and select one single fit, best fit ERP system. This is a classic case of a mergers and acquisition propelling a change. Can you share some insights?
Sure, Bala. Due to the acquisition and merger of the two companies, an effort was required, as you had said, to bring both entities into one ERP system. One was running BPIC's ERP and the other JD Edwards ERP, and both were very old versions, about 20 years they were running on these systems. They reviewed and evaluated all ERP systems out there and eventually selected Infor M3 with its additional add-on and integrated solutions, which included Factory Track, CRM, Customer Relationship Management, Enterprise Quoting. Another one was Product Configurator, and also Burst BI for data analytics. The project scope included migrating and mapping both of these entities, their legacy data, their business processes, and their interfaces into one ERP system. This also enabled the client to streamline and consolidate their IT support. Instead of having to maintain two separate ERP systems, now they combine that, consolidate into one.
Cool. For sure, maintaining Dale two disparate systems would not have been easy at all. And besides the skills, as and cost aspect from IT support, as you highlighted, imagine the challenges posed for financial consolidation, reporting, month-end closing, getting synergy out of the merger. As after all, these two businesses now merged enable them to offer a larger portfolio of products to their own customers. Subir, you were recently called in to support a customer which went through a merger and acquisition process, and I believe you are still involved in that support. That compelled them to evaluate and select the right fit enterprise software for their business and replace the incumbent ERP, which was SAP. Share some insights on this, please.
Yes, Bala. This client is a leading national home goods manufacturer and supplies its products to all home goods retailers, Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, and the likes. They were part of a privately owned family business and was bought out by a private equity firm. In such mergers and acquisitions, to ensure no business disruptions happen, part of the deal is to allow a transition period for the bought out business to move to their own ERP systems to run their business operations. In this specific case, The transition period was about 9 to 10 calendar months. That is what triggered an evaluation, selection, and implementation process for a new ERP to replace the incumbent ERP system, which was, by the way, SAP. Uh, After the due diligence and the client selected Infor Cloud Suite M3, and Team ICCG was brought in to supplement and the implementation efforts in order to meet the timeline for this implementation, which was about 6 months.
Thank you, Subair. Again, we are just giving a glimpse. We have so many more examples of mergers and acquisitions driving update to enterprise software, but respecting everybody's time, we move to the third driver for change, which is we are in a digital world today, and we all are listening to different aspects of towers of digital transformation, if you will. Today, online business, omni-channel business presence is being able to transact B2B, business to business digitally is a real need, and driving many manufacturers and distributors to embark on digital transformation initiatives. I cannot think of a more appropriate time, really, where I'm seeing how poorly still we are in this digital world when we try to, in this COVID-19 time, order our groceries through our local grocery store, and the Ship It and Instacarts of the world are saying there is a disconnect in the whole process. So we can understand. So Dale, going back to the fine paper, stationery paper products manufacturer, as well as many of your clients, share with us your example of how digital transformation initiatives have also been embarked in this scenario.
Sure, Bala. As you said, the fine paper and stationery products manufacturer, as well as many of other clients that I've worked with on projects, are selling their products on the web, both business to business as well as business to consumer. Infor has a product called Rhythm, which is fully integrated to M3 and offers this capability, which I've implemented for multiple customers. This product is also integrated with Infor CPQ, which is a product configurator for configurable products. So you can also allow the online shopper to configure the final product they would like to purchase online. And then it automatically, when that's completed, you can place the order directly into M3 because it's integrated right with M3. Clients also need to run secure transactions digitally between their customers, suppliers, and banks. They need an ERP system that has the ability to leverage EDI and things like positive pay for banks. Infor M3 has a platform called ION, which is stands for Intelligent Open Network, and this is an advanced middleware software that uses standard EDI and XML to easily pass data electronically to and from Infor M3 and the client's customers, suppliers, and banks.
Thank you, Dale. Subair, you had an interesting story to share as well from one of your projects. Tell us about it.
Absolutely, Bala. Another example that comes to my mind is that of a leading private equity firm-owned gymnastic wear and sportswear manufacturing company, which designs and produces gymnastic wear for the US Olympic teams, and also designs and produces sportswear for many universities, and not to forget the leading sports franchises. They were running an old, outdated ERP system. As I mentioned, this company was a part of a private equity firm portfolio of clients with its growth plans clearly outlined for the next 4 to 5 years. The private firm realized that this legacy ERP system was an impediment in their growth initiative. So they mandated a new ERP to be selected and implemented. Infor Cloud Suite Fashion was selected along with the Infor Fashion PLM and Infor CPQ, the product configurator, to complete the solution framework. On this particular aspect that we are discussing right now of being in the digital world, The need here, among many other operational efficiency needs, was to enable the schools, universities, and the sports franchise organizations to be able to get onto the company's website through a secure portal and manage the complete configuration, pricing, and order management process, and also to ensure the manufacturing operations in the back end was seamlessly integrated to the front end customer experience. This was clearly seen as a driver to deliver a great customer experience and a quality manufacturing process in a very timely manner.
Thank you so much, Subair. So we are again just recapping today. This is to conclude the part one of this four-part series panel discussion. So thank you, Dale and Subair, for sharing your client experiences, which clearly helped us outline as to how globalization, mergers and acquisitions, and redefining in a digital world are forcing business models to make changes. As I stated at the start, change is the only permanent thing in life, and so be it with business. Surely there are other drivers, and we can definitely, keep the list, being added on. But we want to touch on these and share them with you. In our next panel discussion, which will come up next Thursday on April 16th, we will focus on business process optimization. And as part of that, internalizing leading business practices, which also sometimes the world calls as best business practices. We will focus on them as being the drivers for updating your enterprise software. Also, just giving you a heads up, the part three, if the part one and part two focused on the signs for an upgrade or an update, the part 3 and 4 will focus on how then do you ensure success of your enterprise software update or upgrade initiative, in which in part 3 on April 23rd, we will focus on the 3 elements of business case development, evaluation, selection of your partner, and of course, ensuring that your software provider has the investment and support for the project. And we'll conclude in part 4 on April 30th by focusing on very important points like project governance, data migration, and organization change management. Again, it will be all through examples of projects that we have taken in real life to showcase, indeed, these are very relevant. Thank you. This is now open for questions, I guess. Over to you, Harriet.
Great. Bala, Dale, and Subir, thanks for the insight you shared today. I do have a couple of questions. Bala, maybe you can take this first one. It says in almost all the examples that you shared, there was a mention of evaluation, selection, and implementation of the enterprise software. Does ICCG offer software evaluation and selection as services offerings?
Thank you, Harriet, and whoever requested for this. Yes, so ICCG does, under its business advisory services, offer enterprise software selection support, particularly when the client is seeking advice on Infor enterprise software, given our 30 years of experience and fail-safe executions. Also, let me highlight here, it's important for the audience that we also partner with select software selection consulting firms who do that for a living, and either we partner with them or recommend them to clients so that they can engage with them and make progress with the process. And that's actually also what happened in one of the examples that Subair did talk about. So.
Good, thanks, Bala. The next question, other than the first example, all the other examples that were presented had Infor M3 as the ERP solution that was implemented. My question is, does ICCG as a consulting practice just focus on Infor M3? And what about other enterprise software? Dale and Subir, I'll give you each an opportunity to respond to that. Dale, if you want to head first.
Okay, Harriet, thanks. ICCG does have a major consulting practice for Infor M3, no doubt. The consulting firm was built on the consulting services for that solution over the years. But in addition, ICCG also has expertise in implementing and consulting with product lifecycle management solutions, which I used the example on the global changing. Globalization. They also have sales production configurators, warehouse management systems, and business intelligence solutions. Support for those areas. ICCG also provides support for Sightline, which is in for Cloud Suite Industrial, for Cloud Suite Industrial area. Sabir,
Yeah, I think you're right, Dale, and I think Dale mostly covered the things that we do apart from M3. Yes, we do a lot of PLM, product lifecycle management. We do CPQ, product configurators. Most of them are Info products. Yes, we do Sightline as well. We have done some BI implementations. In our past projects, business intelligence, which is burst in this particular case. So yes, I mean, apart from M3, we do a lot of other products, but I would say most of these are Info related products.
Yeah. So to add to what Subir just said, Harriet, we also have been successfully supporting large retailers and distribution businesses for their best-in-class warehouse management systems from leading providers like Manhattan Associates. So just thought we would add that too. Yeah.
Great. We do have one other question. It's related to what the business drivers are when one company buys another.
Business drivers when one company buys other. Again, this is a great question. Thank you for asking. I will give my insight because I've been involved, as I mentioned, in a lot of the private equity operations. One driver could be market, access to a new market. Another driver could be enhancing the product portfolio. Another driver could be getting hold of technology that another company has. And I've also come across where there is a family-owned business which just wants an exit strategy. And there are always investment banking firms who are looking and all the time in discussion with many family-owned businesses to see whether that's the right time for that family to make an exit. So the drivers for a company to go out and seek a merger or acquisition can be many reasons, but we have come across some of these as some of the pointers. I'm sure there are more, but these for sure I have come across.
Thanks, Bala. So being mindful that we wanted to keep this at right about half an hour, it looks like we're coming up to that wrap-up time. Thanks everyone for joining in. We hope you enjoyed today's presentation. We certainly appreciate that participation. And a reminder that part 2 will be 1 week from today, April 16th, and you'll be receiving a separate invite